Absolutely fantastic.
Good, it'll be good. Right, let me know if you can't hear me all right, because I realise there is the buzzing and everything. But I'm quite excited about this training because I have a prop. Is everyone a copper? That's not a prop, is it? No, it's definitely a prop for this one. Definitely is a prop. Do you know, my kettle broke a couple of months ago, and because I really only have the 1 cup of coffee a day, I'm not like one of those chain cup of coffee drinkers. I only have the one in the morning to wake me up. And so I didn't get around to buying a kettle for ages. And for that 1 cup of coffee in the morning, I was just boiling some water in a pan. Now that takes flipping ages, doesn't it? I don't know if it actually does take longer than a kettle, but it seems to take longer whether you're watching it or something. And when I was doing this, I was thinking about all these little analogies it was to do with the business. And so I put it all into a little training. So I hope you're going to enjoy it. But I did just to start with just do a little bit of a testimonial as well. So here we go. Okay, I'll bring that up. Right, okay. Are you boiling hot? Too hot to handle? Bubbling over on fire? Need to let off some steam? What do you think?
Very good.
Okay. Right, okay. A lot of cleanings, you've already heard it tonight from a few people who've been at the front of the room, but a lot of cleanings, it always comes down to this question mark, this why. Why are you bothering? Why are you going to do it? Because with this, there's nobody who's going to come and say, this is why you're doing it, and boot you out to make you go and do it. You've got to have some internal fire inside you, some internal grit that's going to make you go, right, this is why I'm doing it, this is why I'm going to withstand it. And this is going to be so important for you. And a lot of the time in Clean Easy, people go for the nice things, you know, and that's really important. Clean Easy put on all the amazing incentives like holidays and cars and stuff like that, because in the real world we're not taught how to goal set, are we? We're not taught how to go for stuff. In fact, it's kind of squashed into the sidelines. It's actually not a good thing to do. If you do that in the normal world, you've got like pie in the sky thinking, haven't you? You see, it's like a little bit of mad. Whereas in Clean Easy, that's why they put things on like the holidays, to give things for people to aim towards. Yeah. So, I mean, what have I had my car picked up from today? What did I have done? The car? Campbell. Some kind of bell in my car needs fixing. And do I look like somebody who knows what a Campbell is? And it needed picking up today, so the guy came and picked it up from Clemo. And I have on my dashboard and on the speedometer bit and on my steering wheel, everywhere, I've got stuff in my car. It looks a bit mad. I've got pictures of Jamaica, I've got pictures of stuff that I want, and the guy was laughing when he got into it to drive it off, like, what is all this stuff here? Because you've got to, you've got to surround yourself by the good stuff that's going to drive you forward. But sometimes what's really important to remember is, it's mostly what you don't want that's going to drive you. It's mostly what you don't want that's going to be the first trigger that first gets you up and going. Once you're up and going, then all the nice stuff comes on board. What we're actually wanting to aim towards and what we're wanting to achieve is good, and it keeps you going. But that first little bit that's going to get you up, get you making the first decision, is going to be what you don't want. The negative stuff in your life, that credit card debt that you've got, the mortgage that you've got, that job that you don't want to go to, the fact that you don't see your kids, whatever the negative thing is, that's probably going to be the first starting place for you. What you actually don't want. So that's some questions you need to be asking yourself. What is it that I don't want? What am I moving away from? And what am I moving towards? What do I want? You need to cover both bases with your goal setting. So this is actually why I joined the business to start with. This is what I didn't want. So I was at college doing my A-levels. My mum and dad had been in the business for about 7 years at the time. And they were earning loads of money. They'd gone on loads of free holidays, about five of the free conferences. So I really wanted to join the business for those kind of things, but what actually made me join it and get stuck in was the fact that I didn't want to go straight to university and go and live somewhere like this. now, a lot of my friends were so excited to do that, so, you know, if that's for you, then that's great, and I can understand that people go and have loads and loads of fun doing that, but these little polystyrene rooms that they put you in, where you've got like your bed, oh, just a nightmare. I mean, those beds, I actually went to have a look around a few uni digs, and the guy showing us around one of them said that they were called contraception beds because you can only fit one person in it, and they're so uncomfortable that you wouldn't keep two people in it that long. And you know, just to have like strip lighting above you, and not be able to decorate, and also to have this tiny, tiny bathroom in like the corner of your room, if you have your own bathroom, that is. Some of them share bathrooms, which would be horrendous, my absolute nightmare, but these ones, I went and stayed with a couple of friends that were in uni digs, and you literally had to either sit on the toilet or stand in the shower to use a sink, because it was like this big. I had a shower one day and I came out like covered in bruises, because like the whole cubicle's only like tiny. This is what I didn't want. And I thought, you know what, if I can join the business and make a bit of money so that I could, you know, go and rent somewhere whilst I'm at uni or something like that, I'll just take a year out before I go. Of course, then you start earning loads of money and think, actually, what is the point? But that's what I didn't want. That's what was driving me to start with. So this is another reason why I got started. I desperately wanted to learn how to drive. And my first couple of checks, this is what I spent my money on, my driving lessons and saving up trips to go, money to go for trips to Mallorca. My friend's mum and dad have got an apartment out in Mallorca. And so really we only had to find like the flight money and the alcohol money, and then we were sorted. So this is my first check for my first 3 weeks in business. I joined like after week 1 of the pay period, so I had 3 weeks to go at it. And this was still whilst I was at college full time. And when I say full time, often you ask people now, students, you know, what hours do you do at college, and it's laughable. But I was full time at college, doing like proper A levels, a lot of extracurricular stuff as well. I was at college like 9 till 4 every day. Yeah. So this had to be done like half an hour in the lunch break, a couple hours in the evening, weekends, that kind of thing. And £237 straight away, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. It was a lot of money for then. I was still living at home with my mum and dad. So I sent some information packs out to my teacher, my friend, with that first check, and they laughed their tits off, basically. And said, what are you doing, girl? Because I came away from college with, I can't remember now, an A star, an A and a B, and a lot of my college teachers were saying, oh, you're going to go to uni to do my subject, aren't you? You're going to go and do music, and then, oh, you're going to go and do art, and then, oh, you're going to go and do textiles, oh, you're going to go and do drama, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do any of it. So they thought I was crackers. They thought I was letting down myself and not going off on this great career they could see me having by actually just going and putting catalogues out. What is she thinking? Going and doing a newspaper round, one of them said to me. What are you doing? What are you doing? So I'm on Mallorca. What happened was when I first started doing the business, the HPRH, High Performance Retail Habits, the idea of going and knocking and presenting a catalogue on the doorstep. My dad has a fantastic customer base that he built like 9 years ago, and he's still servicing those same customers today. And he'd actually recruited six of his customers into the business also. So there were 7 of them within like that little 3-mile radius of our house that were all active, and I was thinking, how am I going to find any customers? But anyway, my dad said, because I didn't drive when I first got started, my dad said, we'll get you started on the 50-book kit at the time. It cost £80, and that's what I got for my 18th birthday party. I got a box of catalogues and a box of business cards. And I was over the moon. Again, my friends were like, what's going on there? But what I started doing is going down a road, and my dad would tell me where his customers were, and I was going in between and knocking, which was good. We were just slotting the customers into one customer base and kind of working the customer base together once we got the customers, but I was going out and finding those initial ones in between. But had no real long-term thought of where my customers were going to be. There was nothing really to work for, as I was just constantly going out there and getting a rejection in the odd order and rejection in the odd order. And what happened was I went to Mallorca with my friend, and I was due back on the Friday, I think, and on the Thursday my mum and dad got me 250 books, and they put them out for me in a brand new area, and which just so happens to be where I live now, although we hadn't planned that. It's funny, isn't it? Isn't that funny how that works out? So a brand new area, they went and put these books out for me, and so I came back on the Friday. Oh, have you had a nice time, Max? Yeah, I've had a great time. No, that's good. Tomorrow you're picking up 200 books. What? And that's how my proper retail started. And it took me 4 months of putting 200 books out twice a week, still part-time, to build up the customer base I've got today. And you find some lovely customers, some customers that will walk over hot coals just to order from you and be nice, which is really good. Another thing I was working towards is I really wanted to get a stash of premium bonds together. So I wasn't squandering all my money except for on Mallorca trips. I was wanting, to build up savings as well. And when I look at a lot of my friends now that are either just leaving uni or just going in to do their masters, the amount of debt that they're in, would absolutely terrify me. Like I wouldn't be able to sleep on a night time if I was in their situation. And a lot of them, sadly, are thinking, for the next couple of years, I'm going to get jobs that pay me less than 21 grand a year, so I don't have to pay back the debt. I mean, what is 21 grand a year? What is that?
Crap.
Crap, absolute crap, yeah, crap. But I've got premium bonds. I'm in the opposite situation. Sponsoring Circle Fund Speak, because I've been kind of living and eating the business for like 7 years before I joined. You know, like it's all that we lived off for a couple of years with my mum and dad's clean, easy income. I had no doubt in my mind that it was going to work. And I think that was the only reason why I was able to get going straight away with the sponsoring. And I think that that's something that new people struggle with. They're just wondering whether it's going to work. That's it. They're just worried, is it going to work? And it's a valid question, except we've got so much proof that really, why wouldn't it work for you? They don't put anything special in the water where you live. You know, there's no reason why it wouldn't work for a brand new person. But what I used to do is with my phone, I'd record my mum on the phone, drawing out the circles, that kind of thing. And I'd actually listen to it on headphones as I was walking to and from college. And what was really funny is the first Rob Foster seminar I went to, where we saw Rob Foster speak, he actually drew out the circles at the front of the room. And I said, oh, that's exactly what we say. And I hadn't realised that everyone's just copying it in parrot fashion. I sometimes feel a bit like I'm just my mum, just, you know, stop, rewind, record, play, kind of thing. But that's what you want to do if you're struggling at all with, you know, what to say. It's just how much you're listening to, what CDs you've got in the car. You know, I love Spotify, because you can get Spotify, you can get so much good stuff. Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar on Spotify. I don't pay for it, I've just got the free subscription, look it up. And I have that on whilst I'm doing my house cleaning, whilst I'm cooking, that kind of thing. So what you're listening to, that's going to make a big difference to what comes out your mouth. It's like calculators. Did your old maths teacher you say put garbage in, get garbage out? Put it in, get good out? And my little thing was just next bonus level, just wanted to get a little bit more every month. Yeah? You're not going to become an amazing SED overnight. You're just not. It's going to take just a little bit each time, little baby steps. Rome wasn't built in a day, but as long as you're making little progressions forwards, sorted, absolutely sorted. So, after 14 months of part-time work, I qualified at the gold distributor level, and that's not fast at all. A lot of people have done it a lot faster. And I qualified for a free trip to Miami, which was just so exciting. It was just amazing. I couldn't believe it that they were going to take little me to Miami, along with like 250 other people. My mum and dad qualified as well, and that's us. My mum, either Bill or Ben, I'm not sure which one's under that hat, stood outside the hotel, and you can see like how posh it is, those pools and everything. It was just the most amazing place ever. I can't even imagine anywhere posher. It was just, I don't know if you'd ever get over that. They're just so posh, these places, this clean as they take you to. It's just ridiculous. I mean, there was one point where me and my dad, I think it was like on the first or second night, we wanted to go for a swim in these massive pools. And we got down there, and then we realised we'd not brought a towel. And we were thinking, oh, dare we go and pinch one of those off the posh, like, because they had these basically big beds, bigger than your bed at home, at the side of the pool, so you could go and lay on a bed after you had a swim, because that's what you really need, isn't it? A bed and a cocktail after you have a swim. And they had towels on them, and we were like, I wonder if there's like an extra charge, whether we dare do that or not. And we were stood in the pool like, okay, I'm starting to get a bit cold now. And somebody came, a guy in like little shorts and a little shirt from the hotel. Here you go, madam, here you go, sir. Hot towel, hot towel, that warmed the towel. You're just like, FFS. You know? But this is what really gets me. On the Thursday before we went, I was out with my catalogues in the rain. And then on Friday, we landed in Miami. And I don't know if you can appreciate how weird that feels unless you actually go through it. But on the Thursday I was thinking, I can't quite believe that I've packed for Miami, that we're going tomorrow and it's not going to cost me anything. And then when we were in Miami, I kept saying to my mum and dad, we were out with catalogues yesterday, can you believe that one equaled the other? Where else is that going to happen? Nowhere. Where else was just like a day's work, a bit of hard graft, equal a free 5-star holiday? I don't know anything else you could do, but especially not catalogues. So when people come into the business and they don't quite believe you, that's fine, because it is unbelievable. You've got to lead with the lifestyles, you've got to show them stuff like this, because it's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, what a roller coaster. This is what your whole cleansing business is going to be like. It doesn't get any easier for them. It really doesn't. When you look at people and think, oh, it's all right for them because, or it's all right for them because, and pity me, it's not easier for anybody. It's exactly the same for everybody. It really is. You know, sometimes in the same day, or sometimes within the same hour, I'll go from being sky high, so happy, so excited to, and then so high again. And the only difference is, as you get used to the roller coaster, you just kind of, you know, learn to accept it. That's all it is. You've got to take the rough with the smooth. And you know, if you're in a job, you're gonna have horrible days at your job. I'm guessing you're not really gonna have that many nice days. But in cleansing, you're gonna have some freaking amazing days, and you're gonna have some pretty shit ones as well. So this is what it's going to be like. Just get used to a roller coaster. Who likes roller coasters? Who dare put their hands up and scream? Yeah, that's what you've got to be like. That's what you've got to be like. Okay, so. Oh, I'm pressing. Right then, so I've also qualified for a free bonus with the company. If you keep gold distributor levels, 10 out of 13 pay periods, they give you an extra £1,500 cash. And what was really nice was that month I also earned £1,909, which has been my biggest check to date, just like a couple of quid off £2,000 really. I want one that starts with a 2. But that was a really nice month, like £3,500, really nice, really, really nice. And there we go. Never had a job, never experienced a boss, to start life on the extension curve, not the 45-year plan. I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful that Mum and Dad found this and I didn't have to go through getting a job and getting in loads of debt before I came across it. But the thing is, it doesn't matter when you come across it, it's when you get stuck in. It really is. It's when you make the decision to say, right, now we're getting stuck in, now we're going to make it happen. Okay, so that extra bonus, at the time I was looking for somewhere that I could live that wasn't with my mum and dad. I love my mum and dad to bits, but you get to a point where you don't want to live with them anymore, don't you? and I was looking around and I really didn't want to rent anywhere. I thought it was a really bad financial decision, and if I could just stick it out or perhaps go and live in a tent for a bit until I had enough for a house deposit, then I was going to do. But I decided that I did want to find somewhere. And I came across this place and I actually went to go and view it as a bit of a goal setting experience because it was way above my budget, way above my budget. And it was beautiful. I saw it online, I'm just going to go and have a look. And as soon as I got in there, I just knew I was going to have to live there. It didn't matter what I was going to have to do to make it happen, I just had to make it happen. So, and the extra £1,500 bonus actually came the week that I went to have a look at that, and that is what paid for my first 2 months' rent and for the removals van and all different kinds of stuff like that. So Clean Easy yet again made it happen for me. Thank you. So I'll just show you a few quick pictures because I couldn't afford to live here if I was in a normal job. I really couldn't. It's just every day I wake up and I think, oh, I'm just so grateful. And I go into my kitchen and just think, oh, I'm just so grateful. You know? So that's what it looks like from the back. Thank goodness my customer base is only like a 10-minute drive down here. But there's this little bit of water out the back. It's a converted cotton mill. And that's what the water out the back looks like. Nearly every morning, if it's nice weather, I go and sit and I have a cup of coffee on a bench here. And just think, people are in rush hour traffic right now. Why? Why do they do that? And you can walk all the way around it. It's just beautiful. This docket, my brother sometimes comes down to fish in there. They've got trout and other fish. I don't know what to call them, but that you can catch if you wanted to. And that's me outside on the morning, sometimes doing my little. You can see I'm dressed for appointments that day. Just so grateful. What a life Clean Easy can give you if you don't weaken, like what Elaine Mumley says. This is what it's like inside, and do you know what's really funny is that when I lived at my mum and dad's I had little goals boards. In fact, I just had stuff all over the walls. When I moved out they had to like replaster the ceiling because I'd even had stuff glue tacked to the ceiling so I was in bed I could see it. I mean, really, I took it to the extreme. But one of the things I had was like beautiful wooden floors and exposed stonework and nice beams and like a nice kitchen. And when I walked in it was just everything that I'd pictured. And when I was busy cutting those pictures out of magazines and putting them on my wall, I thought that I was going to have to be like age 40 or 50 before I was able to live somewhere like that. I really did. I thought it was going to be like years and years and years into the future. So don't think that it's a bit, it doesn't work, this visualization crap, or whatever people think, you know, like brainwashing. Yeah, brainwash yourself, because this is what you can get if you brainwash yourself correctly. You're going to get whatever it is that you focus on, you really are. So get pictures up of stuff that you want, and don't worry about how it's going to happen, just make sure you do what you need to do today. So yeah, lovely. It's actually two bathrooms. So that picture there is my bathroom, and it never looks like that. Because as you'll know, us girls like to throw makeup all over the place. But I have a second bathroom because then that's where my guests can go. And that bathroom only gets used by guests, so it always stays clean. Which is just a perfect scenario. So there you go. And thanks God to Clean for that. I've got this place. It's got a gym as well. I'd never use that. I'm going to be honest too. Who would use a gym? Perhaps Angie. Mine. But yeah, I kind of wave at that every time I walk past it on my way to. It's got a swimming pool. Just so exciting. I actually counted the other day because this is how sad I am. It's exactly 26 steps from my apartment to the pool. So I go in my dressing gown. I can sometimes just get up and put a dressing gown on and just go to the pool. Or, do you know, I've just thought on Friday when I do my catalogues, now it's got really cold, I'm going to put my swing cosy on underneath my normal clothes, and then when I get back I'm just going to go straight in here because this wall here is a sauna. So you can just go and warm up after you've been out doing your catalogues, which is just so exciting. And I've just found out a way actually of what I can do when I'm in the sauna, because it is a bit of a waste of time, like 15 minutes sat in there. So I've put my book, I'm reading Beach Money at the moment, that's my pool book. I've put my book in a Clean Easy snappy bag, so I can read whilst I'm in the sauna, so it's even part of my education now to go in the sauna. I have to do that now. I have to do that. So that's that. Right, okay, we're back down to a bit of training. What's the time looking like, guys? Fine. Yeah, okay. Right, okay then, so back to this. What is this? Who's got one of these right now? At home, in the kitchen? Yeah. It's not in the bathroom, it's in the kitchen. Okay, and who's this working? What, right now? Probably, someone I'm making a good one. Okay, well let's have a look at this one, right? This one's pretty special because it's got a CV. Are you quite excited about this? I am. It's got a CV. I don't really care if you don't think it's exciting. I'm excited. Okay, he's married to the toaster. And it's mum to Chip, 2-year-old cup. Oh, I know, Beauty and the Beast. And it's a full-time PA and security guard for the biscuit tin. Busy lady, this, busy lady. She's got a job, she's got a husband, bet that's the most time consuming, she's got a kid. And she's a part-time water boiler. You see, your kettle isn't sat at home right now boiling all the time, is it? It's just doing it part-time. But who's seen the analogy of the plane that Eric Worre does on his webinar? Where he says, you know, a plane uses most of its energy, a bit like a rocket, to get up off the ground. And it doesn't just think, oh, we'll go at 30 miles per hour till we lift off. Because what would happen? It'd never lift off, would it? It'd just stay on the ground. It thinks, right, we've got to go for it. We've put all of our energy in to get up off the ground. And a kettle does exactly the same thing, doesn't it? When you go into the kitchen and flick your kettle on, you want hot water instantly. We live in like this instant world, don't we? We want microwavable food and hot water instantly, okay? So your kettle doesn't think, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Or oh, give me 10 minutes, I'm watching Corrie. Or it doesn't think any of that, or it doesn't think, oh, I'm feeling a bit poorly today, we'll just get lukewarm. Because your tea would be horrible if it was lukewarm, wouldn't it? Yeah? It straight away goes to it, trying to get as hot as it can, as quickly as it can. And let me tell you something, this business can be built part-time, but if you're willing to do it fast, it's easier. It's easier. If you do it slow, it's going to take a little bit of commitment. It's going to take commitment as well fast, but you've got to see it through. You've got to see it through. So, what else have we got? Right. So you could have this kettle here, or you could have this one here. Who do you think which would be the most useful kettle to have? This one? Or this one?
First one.
This first one. Right, okay. So let's have a look at this first one. It's full time. or it's part-time, or it's spare time. Because if you were this kettle here, that obviously wouldn't work. You can't be, go on and proceed, full effort, part effort, or spare effort. Who uses this wording on their business cards or flyers sometimes? Yeah? Because we can fit it into anybody's lifestyle. I often say to my new people, tell me when you're busy first and then I'll fit this around you. Which is the exact opposite to what a job and a boss would do, wouldn't they? They'd say, here's the hours I want you for, fit everything else around that. Yeah? So, it doesn't matter what you're going to put into whether it's full-time, part-time or spare time, it can't be part effort. We can't just go like, oh, we'll see how it goes. I'll give that a go, but I'm not going to do that. Oh, I'll do the cataloguing, but I'm not reading any books. Or I'm not going to any meetings. You've kind of got to do a bit of everything. Even if it's just a bit, or a bit, or a bit. But it's got to be a bit of everything. With the exception of just wanting a pure retail business, you cannot choose parts of the business to do and not to do, even if you're part-time. Does anybody here just think of themselves as a retailer? Are we all wanting more from it? We're all wanting a bigger slice of the cake. Good, that was the right answer. So, you can't just choose parts of it to do then. You've got to be an all-rounder. And you know, some people look at what people do in the business, successful people, and think that they couldn't do that. But what they don't realise is that it's just getting really good at a few simple things. It's not lots of complicated stuff, it's just getting really good at just a few simple things. So, for every 9 till 5, there's also a 5 till 9. So even if you work a full-time job, or you're at college full-time like I was, there's still a lot of hours beside that. And it's the 8 plus 8 plus 8. So 8 hours sleeping if you're a baby, 8 hours at work, that leaves 8 hours to do something else. It's an equal amount of time. It's going to take a bit of TV time up, like Dave said. So, right, okay, and if we look at this kettle then, what's the plug for? Well, on a kettle, that's to plug it into the wall, which is where the electricity comes from. That's as technical as I can get for you. That's the power, it's the energy. And for us in the business, it's the meetings, the system. Here tonight, you have come and plugged yourself into the wall. Well done. This is where you're going to get it from. You know, there's going to be parts of your business where you feel, oh, I just can't be bothered. That's when you need the meeting. When you're like, oh, I'm so excited, that's when the meeting needs you. So always be part of it. I'm preaching to the converted here, but go home and tell the other people. Okay, the cable, what does the cable do? Well, the cable transports the energy from the wall to that base of the kettle. It's the transporting bit. And that is you, the information, the sponsor, the upline. If you're wanting to build a team, that is your job. It's no longer your job to be reminded of when the meeting is, or to be reminded that you need to order the new catalogues. It's now your job to know that, to take that as your responsibility, and for you to tell your team on. That's the next step between just being a distributor and being a leader. Are you up for the challenge? No?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's good then, that's good. Okay, what does the base, the platform do? Well, the kettle, it turns the energy into heat, but it's also the stable bit. It makes sure that everything isn't rocking and rolling around when it's boiling. Yeah? For us, we've got such a stable opportunity. We've got such a good base to come from. We're like the oldest network marketing business in the UK that you could get your hands on. We've got so much facts and figures at our fingertips, so much proof that it works. Use it all. Use it all, the statistics, the credentials. It's a company opportunity. That's our really good base. Then we've got the barrel. Well, on the kettle, that's what contains the water. And if the barrel had like holes in it or leaky bits, if it was a kettle that smoked, perhaps, I'm not getting a smoker's but maybe I am. But if it was a kettle that was really unhealthy, that, you know, wasn't able to do things, it wouldn't work, would it? It'd leak water out all over the place. And we've kind of got to be the same in this business. You need to be body, mind and spirit. Everything needs to be a whole thing. Okay, and then we've got the handle, okay? On the kettle, that's the safety. But it's also, it makes it very easy to control the kettle, doesn't it? Can you imagine if you had to pick it up by the barrel and it would be hot, you'd have to get your oven gloves from Clean Easy and, you know, with a handle it makes it easier. Use the handle in Clean Easy. We've got so many things to make the business easier for us. We really have. Do you know, I'm finding that the business, I don't know whether it's just me or whether it's the opportunity is getting better, but does anybody else feel that it is all the time, just increasingly getting better?
Yeah.
It is, isn't it? Who's in a better business now than when they first joined? Yeah. All the time. We're so lucky because Clean Easy are very innovative. They're always moving it forwards, aren't they? Yeah? So use the tools. We've got great catalogues, we've got great online stuff, we've got great business cards, flyers, info packs, DVDs, testimonials. Don't try and explain the opportunity just by sitting down with your friend and chatting. Just don't do that. Use the tools. Show them stuff. Physical piece of paper or videos that you send to them online. It'll do so much of a better job than you could actually talking. It's a bit like trying to describe a haircut. It really is. Okay, so use the tools, it'll make it easier. And the water window, when you first get a new kettle, you don't quite know, oh, how many cups is that? You've got to have a look at this little thing, how many people are making tea for, you know, like that. Okay, once you get to know your kettle, you kind of know by the weight, don't you? Oh, that'll do for me, that'll do for me and him, that'll do for us, like this. Okay, you get to know it. Well, it's exactly the same with our business. When you first get started, you need to track your catalogues, your activity, your team members, everything. Yeah? And then you also need to help your people to track also. Yeah, very, very clever. What's a really good way to track your activity? Those bags a day. Who actually does that? Yeah, we know that, don't we? But we've just not quite got around to doing it yet. Okay. And then the spout, that's for pouring, but it's also for letting the steam out, which is exactly what we need to do in this business. Let the steam out, let the recognition out. Tell your people when they've done good. People thrive off recognition. They love it. They absolutely love it. People will do more if they feel good. They really will. And then the lid. The lid stops spillages. But what I also found from boiling a kettle on a pan is that the lid retains the heat and helps it do it quicker. Because I did it without a lid for quite a while. And with Clean Easy, what's going to be the lid on your business? What's going to keep your people in the business? What's going to keep your customers? What's going to keep your team members active? What's going to be that keeps it all, retains it all? It's going to be the positive influence, good customer service, but also books, CDs and easy reach. You need to get your people reading, learning, listening. Very important. And then the switch. Okay, this is what a lot of people do in the business. Because the switch on the kettle is the bit that says on or off, isn't it? It's not always sat at home boiling. We just switch it on when we want it. Yeah? Well, in the business there's going to be a decision. That's going to be the switch for us. That decision of when you're going to get going. And that is not always when people first get started. Sometimes they're in the business for ages. But what a lot of people do is they flick the switch on. Because they get a bit excited, they see what they could get, and then suddenly the cat needs taken to the vets, and they flick the switch back off again. And then they get a bit more excited again, they see something else that looks really interesting, or they have a really bad bill that comes through and think, we need to do something, and they flick the switch back on, and they're really going for it, and they're doing the catalogues right, and they'll last a couple of weeks, and perhaps they bring a few people into the business, and then suddenly they perhaps get a cold, or somebody says boom to them, and they flick the switch back off again. You see, you're welcome to do this as many times as you possibly want. Clean Easy is a very forgiving business. And don't look at the big leaders and think that they haven't done that themselves. We really have. They really have. They really have. Constantly deciding whether they should or they shouldn't, whether they can or they can't, whether they want to or they don't, whether their reason why is big enough or not. Isn't that right? Yeah. Constantly, yeah? Constant decision. So, if you came into the kitchen and you switched your kettle on, and you looked at the kettle and thought, well, you're not boiled yet. Oh, kettles don't work. Yeah? That's what people do in the business though. They flick the switch, they put one lot of catalogues down, and then they think, oh, this isn't working. But actually, what do you need to do? You need to flick the switch. You need to do what you need to do every day. You need to stick to your plan. You need to speak to your upline. You need to be putting your business cards and your flyers out. You need to be doing your internet adverts. You need to be speaking to your warm market. You need to be reading books and CDs. And can you hear it coming? It's building up momentum all the time. It's gaining it, but you've got to leave the switch on for long enough. You really have. And it's got to go like this. And then eventually your hot water will be boiled. And then at the bottom, there's the element. This is what makes the water hot. This is the whole purpose and the whole function of the kettle. And in your business, that's you. That's your work ethic. That's your reason why. Without you, your business isn't going to go anywhere. So, desire is the ingredient that changes the hot water of mediocrity into the steam of outstanding success. That's Zig Ziglar. Who said Zig Ziglar? That's a good one, isn't it? It's a good one. Come on. Yeah. So the steam of outstanding success is going to come down to that again. Your reason why. Your work ethic. Good things come to those who wait. That's how a lot of people live. Oh, it'll happen. I'll buy a lottery ticket. Actually, that's complete bollocks. Good things come to those who constantly work their asses off and charge through and beyond their goals, never, ever, ever giving up. That's who good things happen to. It's not luck. I want to rewrite the definition of luck in the Oxford Dictionary because they've got it wrong. They really have. Luck is being in the right place at the right time, apparently. No, luck is really, really, really tricky hard work. Here we go. The greatest danger for most of us is not that our aim is too high and we miss it, but it is just that it is too low and we reach it. Michelangelo. And that's me doing reach for the stars.
Applause for the Kettle. Who knew a kettle could be so exciting and so informative? Well done, Abi, that was brilliant. Who wants an Abi in their team? Yeah. Well, while we're looking for another Abi, that's what should be us, being that excited. That excitement is what will generate your business. Absolutely brilliant. I'm proud of you. Very, exactly.
Staff. Again in Hong Kong, don't think we've been to sleep at all. That was in Cyprus, we just that was in Miami. There's that was in Miami, and that's where we got married. Again, I used to look at pictures like that and think,